friends are with me to share their interviews this morning, Rebecca Natman and Bob McLean. Rebecca, what's this about a blank sheet?
A blank sheet with my ad-lib.
Her scripted ad-libs.
That's right. We're all so natural. A lot of women are exercising these days as a part of their lifestyle, and a lot of women want to exercise through their pregnancies. There's some controversy. Some people think you should basically take to your bed and be overly cautious, and some people say go out and run a marathon. Well, I have a prenatal fitness instructor on, Rhea Johnson, and she'll sort of clear all this up and somewhere in the middle.
Now, do we have a pregnant market in terms of real estate?
I've been looking at some figures over there. There's a lot of minuses as far as real estate is concerned in the KW area, but maybe there's some light in the horizon. What to do with real estate? Brian Gould, president of Gould Real Estate Limited, is going to tell us all about...
Maybe buy, but not sell. Is that...
Well, if you're going to buy and not sell, it means... you know, somebody else has got to sell. So it's a vicious circle.
Yes, it is. Okay, coming up on Morning Magazine. Stay with us.
Get your seat shined up, grab a stick of juicy fruit. The taste is gonna move ya. Take a sniff, pull it out. The taste is gonna move you when you pop it in your mouth. Juicy fruit is gonna move ya. You choose the salt, it gets right to ya. Juicy fruit, the taste is gonna move ya.
Let Night Court show you the proper way of conducting yourself. How to dress for success. Dining do's and don'ts. Dignified style of romance. Creating a clean, comfortable office environment, and how to cultivate civilized working relationships. So make the right kind of impression with Night Court, the comedy of manners.
Sorry about that.
Friday nights at 9 on CKCO TV.
Exercising through your pregnancy. What's best for you and your baby? Well, my guest today is Rhea Johnson, and she has a wealth of knowledge on this. Rhea's been a prenatal fitness instructor with the Y for years, and thanks for coming out to visit us today. Share some of this. Viewers in the KW area may recognize you from their own prenatal classes. We talked earlier before the show, talked about the hows and the whys. Let's get into that. Why exercise through your pregnancy?
Well, a lot of people say that they have easier deliveries. They bounce back to normal faster after they give birth. Just to give yourself confidence and a better sense of body awareness while you're pregnant is another benefit. And the social aspect of it's very important as well.
I guess the social aspect is a thing that you don't necessarily think of if you're not exercising. And I suppose family and friends may say, oh, don't exercise while you're pregnant, so that must be a bit of a support system.
Yeah, it's wonderful. The ladies come out and they meet other pregnant ladies and they can share their own experiences and concerns, especially first-time moms. They have a lot of questions and they really enjoy being able to sit down and talk to other pregnant ladies. So as well as exercise our bodies, we also take time to talk and share information.
Let's talk testimonial here. You are a mother of two.
Yes.
Now, did you exercise through both those pregnancies?
My first pregnancy, I had never exercised in my life, and my second one, I was starting to get into fitness, and I noticed a major difference in my deliveries and recovery afterwards, and also my attitude and my own confidence in my body.
So we're talking shorter labor and easier recovery from
It can be.
Let's get into who can exercise and who can't.
The most important thing I would stress is that your doctor or midwife knows you're exercising. Talk to them if you have any concerns, or if you're attending fitness classes that aren't prenatal, make sure the instructor knows you're pregnant. It basically is, what your doctor says. If you don't have any concerns or any problems, there really isn't any reason. Or if you have been exercising throughout your life, there's all the more reason you should continue while you're pregnant.
Are many doctors and gynecologists tuned into this sort of thing? Because fitness is a relatively new thing for many of us.
Yeah, and they're really supportive and you know.
Let's talk about some of those changes that the body goes through and how that affects exercise. What happens to the body?
Okay, well, first of all, while you're pregnant, your sense of balance can be thrown off. So to get out there on skis or bike riding isn't the best thing to do. Because you're more able to fall and injure yourself, or even running in a crowded aerobic class. What can happen is you can go over because of your sense of balance, and it poses a higher risk for the mother.
So what sorts of activities should we avoid then?
Things like skiing, cycling, windsurfing, anything that's going to
All those exciting high-risk activities.
Yeah, or fast sports that contact sports, competitive sports like basketball, you know, things like that you could go over on an ankle and injure yourself. The risk is to the mother, not the baby.
What do you mean by that? The risk?
The
you
mother
couldn't harm the baby, or?
Well, I'm not going to say that. But it's just that you're more likely to maybe fall and sprain an ankle. And being pregnant and injuring yourself is going to be very inconvenient, as well as it maybe take longer to heal. So
I was reading somewhere that the hormonal changes kind of loosen things up. Is that part of why?
It's a natural process to loosen your body out for delivery. So you've got to keep that in mind, and a lot of women find that they notice the changes.
So if say she's out there running and she does fall and injure herself, it's going to be a slower recovery time.
Yeah.
I guess the energy goes to the fetus.
Yes.
Sort of thing.
Yes.
So you say listen to your body when you're exercising.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
What do you mean by that? What do we listen for?
That's really important, to become in tune. Pregnancy is a wonderful time to start to become aware of your body and make changes. A lot of women stop smoking, they change their diets, they stop drinking, and maybe start to exercise for the first time in their lives. So they start to become more aware of how they're feeling. But if you're working out and you're working too hard, you'll know it. You'll be out of breath. And
let me stop you there for a minute. Say, for example, a woman who has never exercised, finds she's pregnant, and says, "Okay, I'm going to turn over a new leaf here and have a good pregnancy." What sorts of things ought she look at?
Well, I think it's important to get involved with the prenatal fitness program as opposed to go out and start jogging on your own, because you'll be working with someone who knows what they're doing.
Mm-hmm. The social aspect, you touched on this when we talked about it. What do you find in your classes? Are they a little bit hesitant when they first start, and how does the camaraderie develop?
Yeah, no, actually, I find I love to teach prenatal fitness classes because everyone is just very responsive and very warm and very open to talk, and no, it's a wonderful atmosphere.
Let's get into specifics here about things that are appropriate and things that are inappropriate.
Okay.
We talk about running and all those high-risk things not being good.
Yeah.
What kind of things are good to
Well,
do?
running is controversial right now. There's some doctors who say running to excessive amounts, you're going to build your body temperature up to high levels that can be dangerous to the baby. Some studies on animals have shown that there's been permanent damage because the baby is in warm water inside you and it doesn't have a chance to sweat, the natural process to cool down.
It makes total sense. It's a
Yeah.
very warm
But
area.
it's a new thing, it's a new idea. So what most doctors would advise a pregnant woman to do is to just use common sense and not get out there maybe 30 minutes. If you've been running all along, then to go out and jog for 30 minutes and monitor your heart rate would be fine.
Mm-hmm. We go back to that monitoring and listening.
Yeah.
How high should the heart rate go? Is it less than someone who isn't pregnant?
Yes. I don't like to see my ladies get as high as they would be in a normal fitness class. I like to use the talk test better than necessarily the heart rate is.
And what's the talk test? For those of us, some of us who've been in fitness for a while know what a talk test is.
Well, if you can chat to the lady beside you while you're exercising, you're doing fine.
You say, "Oh, this is awful. I
But if
can't
you're all out of
take
breath
this.
and you can't say anything.
When's this going to be over?
Then you're working too hard. There's other things too that you maybe shouldn't do while you're pregnant.
To the actual fitness class itself, components of a good class. How do we know if we're in a good prenatal class?
The difference is that in my prenatal classes compared to a regular fitness classes would be we do upper stretching. We don't do the stretching down because we want to keep our heads above our hearts because of the chance of fainting. Just because while you're pregnant, you might get a little bit dizzy.
That's got to do with the blood pressure and all that balance.
Eat something before you come to my class. Eat something, complex carbohydrate an hour at least before the class. Not a heavy meal, but to make sure there's something in your tummy.
A little warm-up.
Warm-up, a longer warm-up, a good stretch. The aerobic part of the class is low impact for the reasons of injury, risk of injury, not because of the baby. And then a nice long cool down. Check your heart rate again. Make sure that it's back to a normal.
So always a nice balanced class.
Yes.
Now, one of the things I've heard is that you should not exercise the lower abdominals. Now, it seems to me you're going to be delivering a child, and don't you want to strengthen those muscles?
Yeah.
Why is that,
The
Rhea?
lower abdominal area down here, if you keep that really tight while you're pregnant, your body's releasing hormones specifically to loosen that up so that the baby is going to come out easily. If you keep that tight, you might have trouble pushing the baby out. So to exercise your upper abdominal area is what's important because that's going to give you strength. So we don't do anything that we're lifting both legs off the ground. So if you're lying on your back and doing sit-ups, you'll always make sure one leg or both legs are down.
If both legs are elevated, will that
That's working your lower. That's working your lower.
So that you don't want to do that, basically.
That's right. That's one exercise that still, there's lots to research and study about, but I think it's just better to be safe.
Now, somewhere in the material you gave me ahead of time, there's something called Kegels or Kegels.
Kegels.
What are Kegels?
I always get my ladies to do Kegel exercises after we do the final cool down stretch. It's tightening up the pelvic floor and releasing it. It's very important, especially for all women, but especially while you're pregnant and before and after birth.
Excuse me. Great. Any final little bits of information? What do you like best about teaching your prenatal classes?
I love working with pregnant ladies. I just find it's such positive energy. It's just wonderful. Everyone is just so happy and excited and a little bit nervous, but
get out there and do it.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to thank you so much for coming in, and good luck with those prenatal fitness classes and all the other things that we know you're involved in. We'll be back after this. Thanks to Rhea Johnson for joining me this morning. We're going to talk about real estate and the recession. Stay with us.
Now I have your attention, please. Every day, across Ontario, people are finding their three lucky numbers. 'Cause
The following program contains mature subject matter with coarse language. Viewer discretion is advised. Rated A.
Right on the two of them. No matter what they say, it's all about money. So let's imagine, ladies, that you're a savings